This is my Craftsman tool chest, and about 4 years ago when I moved here, this box fell over in the U-Haul and it ruined the bottom box, the one that's missing right now. So what got ruined were the sliders here. So what you can see is these little slots actually hold the weight. And at the back, you can see there are some little notches. So it's actually supported by the sliders in these little notches. So it's not just screwed in. And that's one of the reasons why the box can hold so much weight. So the sliders got ruined. It's really hard, apparently, to get sliders for these old boxes. And so I saw on YouTube, they're like, oh, well, just get some regular sliders as if you were building a, wood cabinet. But then the guy didn't actually show how to put them on. And so that's what I'm trying to do here. So I bought these generic, make a cabinet yourself wood sliders. What happens, though, is that these do not have the little tabs that go into the holes here. So it's just held in with rivets. One of the things that I want to point out is that the original slide actually ended here. It didn't go forward, but this is smooth. And as long as it doesn't stick out super far, I don't really think it should matter. The drawer that I have now that uses this slide fits flush. I put a rivet here in the back. So I used the front rivet here as my guide. I had already made Sharpie marks on the top and bottom so I could make sure that these were level. The problem is that this rivet in the back did not line up with the rivet hole that was, the rivet hole that was there. So it did actually, I used this as my guide. I had to drill this hole in the back myself. I actually let it flop down a little bit and it wasn't straight. I had to make another hole. So just be careful when you're drilling. Fortunately, I was able to find enough metal and make another hole and then have it straight. What's nicer about this side is that you have extra metal here that you can drill into. Again, I used the original to mark it so I knew what level to put the slider, and that I marked it with Sharpie to make sure that this would be level. Now, oddly enough, this side is different. This side did not have a hole in the front for me to index. It's actually that hole in the back that I was able to use as an indexer. And then I just made sure that the slide ended about the same place as the other. I think I'm maybe a 1/16 or so off. So one is a little further out than the other, but that doesn't matter. It's this hole that I had to drill, this first one. So that back one, I was able to use in one of the slots. Here, this one, I had to drill that hole because there wasn't one in the right place. So, what do I think about this repair? This repair is perfectly fine, I have decided, if you're not going to put 100 pounds into the box. I do not really trust the 4 rivets to do much more than about, in my opinion, maybe 30-40 pounds. I don't think that I would put much more than that, simply because the original sliders have those little notches that actually do a lot more of supporting the weight. So I had seen this repair on Amazon where this guy used the sliders you can get from Amazon or Home Depot, and but he didn't actually show them being installed and didn't show how, if it was easy or difficult. And I just wanted to show you how I placed the sliders and, you know, how I riveted them in again because it got twisted and bent up so bad. In fact, the left side actually didn't break. It was the right side that broke. And I thought, well, I'll just replace one slide. But once that side was smooth, that side was so bent it couldn't take it, and I had to replace both sides anyway. So, I am so sorry that all my videos keep being after the fact. I actually did really try hard to make this video while I was doing the work, only to realize that my battery had died and that it wasn't recording anyway. But now I'm pretty happy. I really like that result, and I'm sure that I can put, you know, 30 or 40 pounds in there and it'd be fine. Anyway, thank you to my 2 subscribers. Thumbs up. So I forgot one thing, is when you order your sliders, don't order a 22-inch slider because you think, well, I want it to slide out 22 inches. Make sure you measure the original slider that was in there, and it's a 3-piece. It will extend pretty far, probably 18, 20 inches anyway. So my slides were 16 inches, whoops, like 16 inches. And so I actually ordered a 22, and I deleted that, like, no, I have to have the same slider length that the original one was. So mine were 16-inch deep. That's how I ordered them. And then even though the position in the box is just a little bit off, that is, there's a metal strip and then the slider is supposed to be right behind that metal strip. On mine, it's a little over, but because it's flush, it really doesn't matter. My slider is, I think, about a 1/4 inch too far forward, but my drawer closes fine. I don't think you can tell the difference anyway. So that was it. I hope that you found this informational or helpful in some way.